Hello everyone, let me first introduce myself. My name is Hetu Mukwana and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all the things UI UX design. If you are not familiar with UI UX design, it's the process of creating user-friendly and visually appealing digital products like websites and apps. As a UI UX designer, I have had the opportunity to work on a variety of projects and learn a lot about what makes a great user experience. In this channel, I will be sharing my insights, tips, and tricks on UI UX design and how you can create digital products that people love to use. Today, we are going to talk about the keywords and the role of UI UX designer. Let's start and begin with the Iceberg model of user experience is a conceptual framework used to understand and analyze the various layers of user experience. It was introduced by Jesse James Garrett in 2000. By following these five steps, designers and developers can create a user experience that is not only visually appealing but also meet the needs and the expectations of its users. The iceberg model suggests that there are five key steps of creating a successful user experience. Let's start with the bottom layer, strategy. The first step is to define the goals and objectives of the user experience. This includes identifying the target audience, understanding their needs and preferences, and determining the overall purpose of the product or service. Scope. The second step is to determine the scope of the user experience. This involves defining the features and functionality of the product or service, as well as the content and information architecture. Structure. This third step is to create the information architecture and user flow. This includes organizing the content and features in a way that is intuitive and easy to navigate and designing the overall structure of the interface. Skeleton. The fourth step is to design the visual and interactive aspect of the interface. This includes creating wireframe prototypes, designing the visual elements such as typography, color, and layout, and developing the interaction design. First, surface, the final step is to polish and refine the interface. This includes adding the final visual details, testing, and refining the user experience through user research and usability testing, and implementing any necessary changes before launching the product, any product or services. This was the overview. Right now, let's explore each step in depth with examples to help you understand the different aspects of the user experience design and find your own niche within the field. So what is user experience? User experience is the overall experience that a person has when using a product or service. And it's important because it can influence whether someone enjoys using it or not. For example, think about a website that you have used before. If it was easy to find that what you were looking for, the buttons and the links were clear and well worked, and the website looked nice, then you probably had a good user experience. But if the website was confusing, things were hard to find, and the pages didn't load properly, then you probably had a bad user experience. UX researchers and designers work to make sure that products and services are designed with the user needs in mind so that people can have a better experience using them. User experience researcher. A user experience researcher is a professional who studies and evaluates how people interact with products, websites, or services. They use research methods to understand user needs and behaviors and use the information to design products that are intuitive, easy to use, and enjoyable. For example, imagine a company that creates a new mobile application. A UX researcher will start by conducting research to understand how people currently use similar apps, what their pain points are, and what features they would like to see in a new app. They may also conduct interviews, focus groups, or usability tests to gain insights into user behavior and preferences. Based on this research, the UX researchers will create personas, which are fictional representation of the typical user who will use the app. They will then use these personas to design and test prototypes of the new app, ensuring that it meets the needs and expectations of the target user. Ultimately, the goal of a UX researcher is to create products that are user-friendly, efficient, and effective, resulting in positive user experience. Information architecture. Information architecture is a process of organizing and structuring information in a way what makes it easy to find and understand. It's like creating a map or blueprint for information so that users can navigate it easily. For example, imagine you are designing a website for a library. The information architecture will involve organizing the different sections of the website, such as the catalogs, the events calendars, and the database, in a logical and intuitive way. This might involve creating categories and subcategories using clear labels and descriptions and providing clear navigation options. By organizing the information in this way, users will be able to find what they need quickly and easily and have a better overall experience using this website. And a key skill to know is card sorting, understanding of cognitive psychology, library sciences, user research analysis. Interaction design. An interaction designer is a professional who has specialized in designing the way users interact with digital products, such as website, apps, or software. They focus on creating intuitive and efficient interface that allows users to easily achieve their goals and complete tasks. Let's say you are using a fitness app to track your workouts. An interaction designer will be responsible for designing the interface that you use to log your exercise. They will think about things like what types of exercise do you want to track? How can we make it easy for you to enter that information? Should we use buttons, drop down menus, or text input fields to capture the data? What feedback should we provide to confirm that the data was entered correctly? The interaction designer might create a prototype of the interface and test it with real users to make sure it's intuitive and easy to use. They might also work with visual designers to make sure the interface is visually appealing and on brand. The key skills to know is visual design, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript animation. User interface designer. A user interface designer is someone who designs the visual and interactive elements of a digital product, such as website or app, to make it easy and enjoyable for users to navigate and use. For example, consider the design of a music streaming app. A user interface designer might create a simple and intuitive layout with large, clear buttons for common actions such as playing and pausing music, skipping tracks, and creating playlists. They might also choose a visually pleasing color scheme and typography that is easy to read on mobile screen. Overall, the goal of user interface designer is to make the user experience as smooth and enjoyable as possible by designing an interface that is both aesthetically pleasing and easy to use. The key skill to know is visual design, user interface patterns, typography, layout, best practice, color theory. Product designer. A product designer is someone who creates the look, feel, and functionality of physical products. They work to make sure that products are easy and enjoyable to use while also meeting the needs of the people who will use them. For example, a product designer might work on design of new kitchen appliances like a blender. They will consider things like the size and shape of the blender, how the buttons and control are laid out, and how easy it is to clean. They will also think about the user experience of using the blender, how it feels in their hand, and how loud it is, and whether it makes blending ingredients easy and efficient. Ultimately, a product designer's goal is to create a product that people will love to use and find valuable in their daily lives. What is front end designer? Front-end designer is someone who creates the visual elements and interaction that users see and interact with on a website or an application. They use their knowledge of design principle and coding languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create visually appealing and functional user interface. For example, when you visit a website or app, the layout, color scheme, typography, button, and other visual elements are all designed by front-end designer. They work to make sure that the website or app looks good on different devices and is easy to navigate. They also create interactive features like animation and hover effect to enhance the user experience. In short, front-end designer focus on the design and functionality of the user interface that user interacts with. The key skill to know is HTML, CSS, JavaScript frameworks. T-shaped designer. A T-shaped designer is someone who has a broad range of skill and knowledge in design, but also has deep expertise in one specific area. The T shape refers to the combination of a wide range of general skills and a deep understanding of a specific skill set. For example, imagine a graphic designer who is also skilled in user experience design. They have a wide range of skills in design, including layout, typography, color theory, and more. However, they also have a deep expertise in UX design, meaning they have a thorough understanding of how to design interface and interaction that are user friendly and effective. This combination of skills makes them a T-shaped designer. They have a broad range of design skills and that they can apply to many different projects, but they also have a specific area of expertise that allows them to provide specialized knowledge and skill for specific design challenges. T-shaped designers are highly valued in the design industry, but because they bring a unique and a valuable skill set to their work. The key skill to know is specific skill in one area, whichever you have an interest in. Accessibility. An accessibility designer is someone who designs digital products or service to make them usable by as many people as possible, including those with disabilities. They ensure that the website, apps, and other digital products are designed with accessibility features that make it easy for people with disability to use them. For example, an accessibility designer might ensure that a website has caption or transcript for videos so that the deaf or hard of hearing users can understand the content. They might also design website with larger text and high color contrast to make it easier for users with visual impairments to see the content. Overall, an accessibility designer goal is to make sure that everyone, regardless of their abilities, can access and use digital products and service. Visual designer. A visual designer is someone who creates the look and feel of visual elements in digital or physical products, such as logos, graphics, and layout. They use their knowledge to design principles color theory, and typography to create visual assets that are visually appealing and communicate a clear message. For example, a visual designer working on a website might create the layout of homepage, choose the color and fonts that are used throughout the site, and design the images and icons that are used to represent different sections or features of the site. They might also work on creating branding materials such as the company's logo, business cards, or marketing materials to ensure that the company's visual identity is consistent across all of its product and platform. Essentially, they focus on creating visuals that are both aesthetically pleasing and effectively communicate the intended message to the audience. Then the key skill to know is composition, typography, color theory, and the layout branding. Usability testing. Usability testing is a process of evaluating how easy it is for people to use a product or service, such as website or an app. It involves observing users as they complete tasks on the product or services and noting any problem they encounter or areas where they struggle. For example, let's say a company is developing a new website for online shopping. They might conduct a usability test by asking a group of users to complete tasks such as finding a specific product, adding it to their cart, and checking out. As the user complete this task, the company will observe and take note of any issues they encounter, such as confusing navigation or unclear instruction. Based on the results of the usability test, the company can identify areas where the website needs improvement and make changes to ensure that it's easy and enjoyable for users to use. This helps to ensure that the final product is user friendly and meets the needs of its intended audience. And the key skill to know is observational skill, empathy, communication skill, critical thinking, attention to detail. Content writer. A content writer is someone who creates written materials for website, blogs, social media, and other digital platforms. They use their writing skill to produce engaging, informative, and persuasive content that attracts and retains the attention of the target audience. For example, a content writer for a travel website may create blogs, posts about popular destinations, tips for travel planning, or reviews of hotels and restaurants. They would use their writing skills to create engaging and informative content that makes reader want to learn more and consider booking a trip. Similarly, a content writer for a fashion brand may write product descriptions, social media posts, and email newsletters that showcase the brand unique style and appeal to fashion conscious consumer. They will use their writing skill to create content that is persuasive and compelling, encouraging readers to make a purchase. Overall, a content writer uses their writing skill to create content that informs, entertains, and engages the target audience, helping to build brand awareness and drive customers' engagement. And the key skill to know is excellent writing skill, strong research ability, adaptability to different writing styles and tones, attention to detail, creativity, and originality. Wireframe. A wireframe is a visual representation of the basic layout and structure of the digital product, like a website or app. It's usually a simple black and white sketch that outlines the main elements on a page, such as text, image, buttons, and forms. Think of the wireframe as a blueprint of the house. Just like how a blueprint shows the overall layout of rooms and walls, a wireframe shows the basic layout of elements on a page. It helps designers and developers plan how a digital product will function and how users will interact with. For example, let's say you are designing a website for a restaurant. You might create a wireframe that shows a header at the top of the page with the logo and navigation menu. Below that, you might have a section for the restaurant featured dishes with photos and description. And at the bottom of the page, you might have a footer with contact information and social media links. This wireframes will give you a basic idea of the page's layout and structure, which you can use them to create a more detailed design. The key skill to know is wireframing, user experience design, user interface design, information architecture, and prototyping. Prototype. A prototyping is the process of creating a preliminary model or version of a product to test and refine its design. It's like building a rough draft of something to see how it works and how it could be improved. For example, imagine you are designing a new chair. Instead of building a full scale version of the chair, you might create a small scale model made out cardboard or foam to test its size, shape, and comfort. You could then sit in the model chair and make notes about how it feels and where it could be improved. Similarly, in the digital world, you might create a rough sketch or wireframe of a website or app to get a sense of its layout and functionality. You could then show this prototype to users and get feedback on how easy it is to use and when changes could be made to improve it. Overall, prototyping is a valuable tool to design process because it allows designers to test the ideas and make improvements before investing time and resources into creating a final product. And the key skills to know is design thinking, technical proficiency, attention to detail, project management, and rapid prototyping. And really, thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this. Also, you can download the whole PDF which you can find in the description below. And once again, thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do visit my website. Check out this website link below. And also, you can find it on the PDF